All right, everyone. Welcome back from the networking. Show me with an emoji if the speed networking and the networking at the tables worked well for you. There's one. There we go. There's a few more. Good. So glad to hear about it. All right. At this time, I'd like to introduce to you our platinum sponsor, Coach Karishma. So go ahead, Karishma. Tell us about your business and what you do.
Hey everyone, so good to have you guys here today. Thank you so much, Becky. I appreciate the opportunity to be here. Hey Chanel, hey everyone else. I see a lot of familiar faces and so good to be here with you guys on this beautiful rainy Saturday, live from here, Dallas, Texas. And essentially guys, I'm a business coach and I'm gonna take up not too much of your time today, but I really want you guys to just jot a few nuggets down, okay? I'm gonna hopefully give you tons of value, but I really want you to write this down as if you're gonna teach it to someone and just take it and implement it no matter how you choose to do so in your life today. All right, guys, so last year was incredible for many of us in, I'm sure, a variety of different ways. And COVID has taught us many, many gifts. Time is invaluable. Life is precious. The need to diversify your income is critical. The market has been really volatile, and that traditional job sector today is no longer reliable. And more investors have come into the market now than ever before. And in 2020, one study estimated that over 13 million investor households existed in the US. Think of that number, guys, 13 million US investor households. And that number is growing every single month. And what was ordinary before is no longer acceptable to not just succeed in your business, but to even survive in your business. And it's time now more than ever before to really step into that competitive advantage. And I want you guys to sit with a quote. And I really want you to hear me and I want you to write this down, okay? What we write is what we keep and we invite. The success of a business is reflected in the psychology of a business owner. The success of your business is reflected in your psychology. What does your psychology look like? Do you have that drive that is necessary to be successful in your business? Do you radiate confidence? And if you're underestimating confidence, let me tell you right now that the number one thing that I've learned from my billionaire coaches is that the number one thing that distinguishes successful people from not successful people is confidence. So do you radiate that confidence when you speak to your clients, you speak to your customer, you speak to your partners? What does your focus look like? And I really want to give you guys some value here, and I'm gonna give you some free coaching. There are two deterrents, two things that prevent success, and I want you to write these down. One, the number one thing, and I really want you to think about this, distractions. And if you're like, that's not really true, think of your business during holiday break, during Christmas break, during Thanksgiving. Is your focus on holiday shopping, on cooking, on festivities, or is it on the business? And for most people, that business results goes down during those months where there's other things that take away from our focus. The second piece is accountability. And think of hiring a trainer and committing to getting results and investing in your health. You're more likely to get results that create a healthy, fit body when you invest in that trainer and you invest in your health. So the two things that prevent success, distractions and accountability. And so now today, more than ever before, we need to increase our focus, get that accountability, increase that confidence, and to really implement a sound strategy so we don't make mistakes and really, really expensive mistakes. And if you're ready to really up-level your REI success, we're dropping in a link here, guys, in the chat. Lucille, I just dropped it in the chat. I'd love to connect with you. And there's two ways to connect with me. I'm on LinkedIn, I'm on Facebook. Search for my name, Karishma Makhani. You can see my Facebook and Instagram credentials, same name. 𝗚𝗲cie 𝗦𝗹𝗀, or I'd love to connect with you and just click on this quick Google form, answer a few questions, and I'd love to give everyone here a free 15-minute consultation on how to up-level your REI success today, guys. 15 minutes, free coaching can literally change your life. So with that, I'd love, if you guys have any questions, drop them here in the chat. And I appreciate every single one of you. And thank you so much, Real Estate IQ, for this incredible opportunity today. I hope you guys have an awesome day. And just be sure to take whatever you get today and implement one thing today to create that incredible future that you desire. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much, 𝗚𝗲cie, and thank you for being here and for supporting this event. All right, now I'd like to introduce to you Mr. George Salas. George is a real estate strategies and short-term rental expert. He empowers property owners in distress by partnering with investors and young entrepreneurs to achieve their real estate goals in both the residential and commercial space. He's also a coach for young and hungry entrepreneurs. And there's his talk. So George, thank you. Take it away.
Good morning. Good morning. How's everybody doing today? So let me go ahead and get started here. I think it's going to allow me to present. So whenever, Becky, you get a chance. Awesome. Awesome. So I'm excited to be here. It's a beautiful day. And let me just share my screen. And today I'm going to talk about how to, there we go, grow a 6 and 7 figure business with Airbnb and short-term rentals. And just want to talk to you guys a little bit about myself, about a 2-minute intro. I am super honored to be here today, everybody. And I'm glad that Becky invited me here, and to the whole entire Real Estate IQ family, thank you so much. So I'll go ahead and start with my story, and this is the intro. So my journey started when I was 6, guys. So I was born in Peru, and this is me at about 2 years old, right? So whenever I actually, I was sitting in the living room with my parents, my family, and all of a sudden my mom walks into the room and says, "Hey George, I need you to come into our living room. We need to have a talk." I was 6, so I didn't know anything about it. So me and my brother jump into the living room, and my mom essentially says, "You know, we're gonna go visit your grandma," and we're not going to visit my grandma. Only my parents were getting a divorce, and I didn't know it. I was 6 years old, so at that moment, we traveled to another completely new city. It was a little town called 𝗚𝗲cie, and this little town looked just like this, okay? So when we moved, then we were living next to the chickens, and I used to live in an adobe house. This adobe house, actually half of the house melted and fell and dropped into the inside of the house, so it melted, right? And the reason for that is one of the tiles moved, and then we started having leaks in the house. And at that time, we didn't have the money, we didn't have the resources to be able to fix it. So this is me and my brother walking right outside of our bedroom. Okay, so when you walked outside, you could actually see the chickens, and there was, you know, just little animals running around, and the ceilings were made out of sugar cane and adobe, and it was a good life, right? So this is me and my brother. In our upbringing, you know, he was, I think 5 at the time, I was 6, and we moved here, right? So we moved here at about the age of 15. I didn't get a chance to see my father until I was 15 years old. And then once we moved here, actually, you know, we didn't get to say bye for twice. So the second time I didn't get a chance to say bye to my father. So we moved here to Houston. This is 290 in Bingle area here in Houston Northwest. It's me coming here. I went to Jersey Village High School, and I was ready to actually jump on and be an entrepreneur. So when all through my, you know, early years, I actually grew to become an entrepreneur. So I was a server. I was a waiter and a bartender. I worked for Kmart. And I started as a grocery sacker boy, you know, and then I was an actual electronics associate, a front desk associate at Kmart, and then I became a waiter at Papacitos here in 290 from Papa's, and then I worked for a sushi restaurant. While in the sushi and nightlife restaurant industry, I got approached by somebody to come promote their nightclub. And at that time, I used to come out with my friends, and I was, 19 years old and had lots of energy. So I ended up going to nightclubs, and I ended up starting an actual event and nightclub promotion company. So fast track a few years, about 6 or 7 years from there. I'm age of maybe 22 or 23. I started promoting, and this picture is from when I was 27 years old. I opened my nightclub, and I invested about $410,000 opening this nightclub, right? So 27 years old, I was doing really well. I didn't know anything about real estate. I didn't know anything about purchasing property. So I opened my nightclub with a different partner, and the partner was the operations partner, and I was I was a marketer, right? I brought the people in, and I had a team. This is my company banner back here, and this is a friend. It's opening night, right? So a year and a half later, we're in 2017. We've opened a nightclub, and we actually end up shutting down the nightclub, right? And the reason for that is the operating partner, who I trusted, couldn't operate correctly, so ran the place to the ground, and I ended up losing my entire investment. We actually put $1.3 million into the nightclub, and then I essentially lost every penny I saved through my entire 7 years of opening my business and promotions and marketing. So in 2017, I had put all my eggs in one basket, and I totally understood that, lesson here is never put your eggs in one basket, and learn something before you jump into it, right? Know your numbers, know everything that you are going to go through before you go into it, and then have the actual paperwork and have all that, right? Which at that age, I was not prepared to do it, so I lost everything. So I decided to get into real estate, and this picture is January 19 of 2018. This is my first real estate seminar. But as soon as the nightclub closed, this is about 4 months before this picture. This is right before the Hurricane Harvey landed here on us in 2017. I actually didn't know what I was going to do with my life. I had to go back to promoting, and I had just shut down my business and lost it. We couldn't get it back. We got locked out, and then I had no power, no say-so, because I didn't have operating power. So I got a phone call, and this phone call was from my friend, Brent Franklin, okay? And at that time, he was a heavy real estate investor. Now he's in oil, and he tells me, George, get your butt over to my flip. So that phone call changed my life. It opened my eyes into the opportunity of real estate, and essentially I was able to go into real estate and submerge myself into every single seminar, every single book that I could, every single course that I could put my hands on that I could afford at the time. I started with maybe $5,000 in my pocket, okay? And for about 4 months, I just studied, did my homework, read and everything. And at this time, where you guys are seeing on the screen, this is January. And at this time, I actually took my first seminar, and about a month later, I closed my first flip. I started flipping and wholesaling throughout that year. I did about 25 deals, okay? And then by the summer of 2018, I was able to actually get my first flip done. So this picture is in February of 18. So by June, I had made $46,000 and cashed out on that flip, right? And then with that money, I utilized it to actually start my short-term rental business, right? So I also found out about wholesaling, and wholesaling allowed me to start that business, right? Between July and December of that year, I actually sold about $98,000 wholesaling fees. So I took that cash from that $5,000 originally that I started with, and I was able to invest in courses, books, education, just anything I get my hands on, and then learn about flipping, learn about wholesaling, make about $300,000 my first year. Half of that was from flipping and wholesaling, and the other half came from short-term rentals. I took the wholesaling fees and bought my, actually rented my first 10 arbitrage deals, which is rental arbitrage, what I'm going to talk about in just a second with you guys. And I got 10 arbitrage apartments in downtown Houston, and I was able to get my short-term rental Airbnb business started, okay? Which allowed me to actually, that year, spend a little bit of time with my family. So between now and then, what I've done is I've actually jumped into a portfolio of 51 Airbnbs as of this month. Okay, they generate 150,000. I'll be happy to share that in just a second with you guys. And a lot of these are apartments. Majority of our Airbnbs that we now go for are houses. So today I'm going to be happy to talk about a few topics. And the topics following will be the 5 pillars of short-term rental success, the top 5 mistakes most hosts make when starting in Airbnb, rental arbitrage made simple, very, very simple, the no money down method I've used to actually launch our portfolio into the numbers that you guys are going to see, and then how buying 6-figure Airbnbs through creative finance can also help you launch your real estate goals, can help you increase your income and then just build your net worth and really build your dreams, right? So let's get started, guys. So I love to teach you guys about the 5 pillars of short-term rental success. And the first one is your location or market, right? This is not the area. This is not the zip code. This is not exactly the pocket, right? It is the pockets inside your market that you need to identify that are top performing, right? That are going to be most profitable. So in a sense, you need to identify the top performing areas, not just one area, and the most profitable property types that match that one particular area or property type with the highest revenue. So if I'm looking, for example, if I'm looking in 77070, I've got a property there that does $8,500 a month, and I find a property that makes that much cash flow, what I do is I actually research for that type of property that makes similar cash flow through our marketing and market research strategy, right? And it's a reverse engineer market research strategy that teaches how to exactly reverse engineer the entire method, right? And obviously it takes me about 45 minutes to an hour. But once I've found out about the top performing areas or pockets, now I look through the entire city of that market. I know that there are going to be properties that will allow you to make that much, in revenue. So now I'm niching down to the most profitable property types. It could be any type of property types, which leads to the pillar number 2, right? Your property is just as important, and it's the pillar number 2 in the success of your short-term rental journey, and ensuring that the property is desirable and has the most searched amenities. This is very key, guys, right? When you have a good market and you find pockets of properties that are going to make you money, niching down to that smaller type of property that is the most desirable with, it could be renovations, the nice granite countertops, and it has the most amenities, right? Amenities meaning the most search amenities. It could be it could be hot tubs, pools, patios. It could be backyards, beautiful views. There are so many types of properties that are unique, and the key is being unique, right? Desirable and unique is the most, and then when people search, they're searching for uniqueness and amenities. People today, in this day, actually find properties by different searching algorithms, but they don't go to many of them because we have 8,000 plus properties in Houston, listings in Airbnb, right? So how do you stand out? You stand out by creating a unique property, a unique listing, and the next step, which is pillar number 3, makes you and allows you to do that, okay? This is your design and amenities, how you design your property, how your interior design, how your furnishings to stand out, What about your kitchen appliances, the number of beds? All these little things matter. These are 4 of the most important ones, right? So in this pillar, you need to understand that all the research you've done, you have to match the top properties, and you have to bring in the amenities that these top properties have in order for you to create that property that makes that listing that makes the $8,000, $10,000, $12,000. We have a lot of properties that do over 10 grand, and we've done them this exact way, making sure that we follow the pillars. Okay. Pillar number 4 is your marketing, and inside your marketing, there's your listing strategy, or how the listing looks. Okay. There's your booking strategy, how you're going to book your property, what's your availability like, how many nights you're making it available, and then your pricing strategy, right? Your pricing strategy is how you price your property, if you're doing it dynamically, how you're pricing your weekends, how you're pricing your weekdays, right? And how you're actually utilizing dynamic pricing in order for you to be able to maximize your revenue and the performance of your listing. And then lastly, your guest avatar. This is exactly the type of people that you want in your property, which you're going to be creating the listing for. So when you're doing your design and when you're putting your amenities, for the most part, they're going to be standard amenities. But if you, for example, want to create a listing where your avatar is families, where families pay more, and when they pay more, obviously you're going to get that higher rate. Families love privacy, they love backpack traveling, group traveling, and they're going to come in 1 or 2 families. You pick this avatar and you're creating the listing, you're creating your booking, and you're creating your pricing strategy based on families, right? And then pillar number 5 is your guest experience. And that essentially is your management, the service you provide, and your reviews. Essentially, your reviews are the second thing most looked at in any Airbnb listing. The first is the pictures. So those 2 tips already will help you guys actually make your listing much higher performing if you focus just on those 2, right? Because this is a review-based business. So when people are searching the algorithm, the database, they're looking for those 2 things for the most part. Everything else is also relevant, but your pictures is the number 1, and some people don't even look at the reviews, but there's a good group of people that will. Okay, so those are the 5 pillars of short-term rental success, and these 5 big 30,000 foot view elements are the most influential. And whether you're going to succeed and make 10,000 in one house, or whether your neighbor is going to make 5,000 on the same exact floor plan because they didn't pay attention to these 5 pillars. And then within those 5 pillars, obviously there are a lot of details inside. But if you look at the whole entire picture of this business from a 30,000 foot view, you're going to understand that these are the most important, and everything else falls below it. Okay. So let's talk about the top 5 mistakes most hosts make when starting an Airbnb, guys. So mistake number 1 is they don't understand their market. They think that they're going to go and price their property at $400 each night, and their property's valued at $400. And then they don't understand that if they niche down or they pick a certain type of property, they're going to price it at a certain number, right? And then they're going to make the money that they want, but they don't understand the market. So when you don't understand your market, you don't do your research, you're not going to understand your numbers. And when you don't know your numbers, you're not going to win. Whoever knows their numbers wins, all right? So mistake number 2 is hosts don't know what property types have the highest profits. And I like to niche down. I recommend everybody listening here today that you niche down. Whether it's a casita or a villa or a tiny home or a pool home or a hot tub or a beachfront, lakefront, that's when I'm talking niching down, right? You can't go out there, and I've done this before, and I'm telling you because I learned this myself. I learned it from my own lessons. I got out there and I got a bunch of these apartments that started me off really well. They were making great money, but I didn't know that $2,500 I mean, it was great for me at the time for one apartment. They still make that. It's cool. But I didn't know that there was a house that was maybe a $5,000 to $8,000 more investment that I would rent that would make me $7,000, right? So you've got to figure out what property type has the highest profits by doing and exercising the 5 pillars of short-term rental success, right? Mistake number 3 is hosts don't have a booking strategy. They just go in, they just say, hey, my listing will get booked, and then I'm gonna put 1 night here, 2 nights there. No, you've gotta understand how to reverse engineer your 10K. And this is what I do, right? I actually reverse engineer a $10,000 a month listing, and I do it by creating a booking strategy and creating a pricing strategy. Those 2 components alone will make you or break you. You've got to have a booking strategy, and this leads us to number 4. Mistake number 4 is most hosts don't have a pricing strategy, right? And a pricing strategy could start with 1 strategy on your pricing, or it could start with 3 or 4 when you're a little more advanced. And if you don't have 1, then you are not going to get the revenue. You can still profit some, but if you have a house and you're making $3,000 to $5,000 and it's a 3 to 4 bedroom house, you're missing out on $7,000 to $10,000. Okay, and with these elements, with these tweaks that you make, you can change the outcome of every single month of your cash flow. Because if you're making $3,000 to $4,000, your operating expenses are $2,500, right? Maybe $3,000 if your mortgage is $1,500. And then if you're at $3,000 to $3,500 in operating expenses, what comes after that? Your profit, right? So that means if you make $4,000 in a listing, you profit $500, and long-term rentals bring you $500 a month. I profit $5,000 because I'm doing $10,000, and my operating expenses are $3,000 to $4,000. Okay, that's the big difference that most hosts come in and actually think their property's going to make them $8,000 to $10,000, $7,000. Oh my God, I'm going to price it that way, but they don't have a strategy behind it, so they don't get booked, and they lose out on money month after month. That was me about 2.5 years ago, guys. This is why I put this together, right? And then mistake number 5, they don't optimize their listing. Changes happen all the time on the Airbnb platform, so you got to optimize your listing, and they don't just happen on the platform. They also happen inside your home. Things get moved, furniture gets moved, beds get changed, pictures get old, you update the house, you create this. So you need to optimize your listing for the guests as you go. And most hosts don't do that, all right? So those are the top 5 mistakes that most hosts make when starting an Airbnb business, okay? So next, I want to teach you guys about rental arbitrage made simple. I'm going to make it super easy, super simple, and so you guys can understand what rental arbitrage is, okay? So rental arbitrage is actually the safest and easiest strategy to get started in Airbnb if you want to invest. Now, there are other strategies like management that don't require any money that I'm going to talk about later on. But if you want to have your own property, this is the reason why rental arbitrage is great. Now, I also I own like 10 houses that do really well. We rent majority of our properties, and we also have a management concept that we do with our students and very close clients, okay? So also rental arbitrage has the least amount of capital needed if you play it smart, right? If you play it smart, as in you find the right property that already has the amenities you're looking for, you know exactly what you're going after, right? And then you go for properties that can provide you the extra value, like furnished houses or that sort of thing, right? Also, rental arbitrage, you can 3 to 5x your investment in 1 year. So let's reverse engineer real quick what I mean by that. If you invest $15,000 in staging a 4-bedroom house, and that's, maybe 6 beds, and all your kitchen appliances, your outdoor furniture, indoor furniture, and everything you need to put in an Airbnb, and then you go and make $9,000 a month, right? And then let's just say you make 7, okay? Let's just say you make 7,000, and then your operating expenses are 3, okay? That's $4,000, okay? If you multiply 4 times 12, it's 48K, right? So if you invest 15K and you net 48K in a year, you're 4Xing, well, that would be 3X minimum, right? 3Xing. If you make 9K at the end of the month on average, then you would potentially 4X it, right? So you can 3 to 5X your investment. That is 3 to 500% return on your investment, on your 15,000 that you invest through rental arbitrage. That's insane numbers. I'll show you guys in just a second. You can also do what you love if you take this strategy to the next level. Really do what you love and actually do what you were designed to be, because we're not designed to do everything in our business. We're designed to do what we love, and that's what brings us happiness, okay? So what is rental arbitrage? Rental arbitrage is the act of renting a property long-term and then re-renting it in a short-term rental basis on Airbnb, HomeAway, or other vacation rental platforms. The revenue potential for arbitrage is highly dependent on the difference between long-term and short-term rental prices in your market. And the 5 key elements that I went through at the beginning of the presentation are the ones that are going to get you to get the highest short-term rental prices, okay? So let's go through a case study real quick. This is a current property that we put about $26,000, and we launched on April 8th. It brought in $10,000, and these are the expenses, okay? $10,800 for that month, and our cash flow was $49.65, okay? So let's go here and actually check out our sweet spot. We don't even have 50% occupancy here, guys, and that's okay because we made $10,500, right? And if you guys see right here, you do your math, 2,000 plus 3,600 plus 2,800 plus 24. It's a little bit over 10,000, right? So if I'm mistaken, please let me know in the comments. So here's some payouts that I wanted to show you guys. So these come up on a daily basis. They come out when, a couple of days after you actually get the reservation in your property, right? So you get paid out by the time they're out if it's a 3-4 day reservation. So, and then for May, our revenue was actually not 59. I apologize for that. If you do the math here, we have these 2, but we also have 2 reservations. This is our Airbnb revenue, and then we have 2 reservations, one for 4,500 on the 27th of May, and then one for about 3,000 for these 2 days that came from BRBO. So I apologize, we did not get to BRBO. Well, we did get to BRBO. There you go. So 5,500, and then for some reason, I think this one canceled. We're still able to keep. So we made a mistake here, so I apologize for that. So Airbnb's revenue is 5,900, but our revenue for the first 2 months is 23,829. Okay, if you do the math, 2 months, 23,829. All right. So now if we're doing 10,800, like I showed you in the first one, this is the math right here. Okay. 130K for your Airbnb income, right? And you're cleaning around 7,200. These are all annual inputs. Okay. Your electricity, 3,000 annually, water, gas, internet, and miscellaneous costs. My furnishing costs are about 20K because this is a higher end luxury property. And then my acquisitions costs are 6,000. That's first month rent and deposit. Okay, and then my own property management cut, I give a discount to myself, right? And instead of charging 20% to myself, I pay 12% to myself, right? And this means I own a property management company, and my property management company takes 12% of the gross revenue of every $10,000 to $15,000, every dollar that comes into the business, and the company that owns this lease takes the remaining, because our property management company manages a lot of our LLCs, and that's how we have a business that sustains and brings in and has a great amount of team members, and we're able to literally deliver these services to partners, ourselves, our other companies. We've got a large team of about 15 people in our business, okay? So, and if you do those numbers, $3,900 per month would be your profit, okay? So, and then what Airbnb fee? I apologize. That is the Airbnb fee, your property management cost, mortgage, $3,500, and then your total monthly cost excluding rent, $2,700. These are the investment metrics that we're looking for. $8,100 before rent or PITI, right? Second line, monthly net operating income after. So my profit's not 3,900, my apologies. It is 4,600, okay? With those numbers, my internal IRR over a period of 3 years, which my lease is 3 years on this particular piece of real estate, is 188%, okay? I don't think you can get that anywhere, not even in the stock market, right? So, and then my cash on cash return is 6.4 times over 6 years at 10,800. Now, remember that we did 26,000 or 24,000, I believe, in the first month. So I'm just counting. These are numbers based on the first month. Okay, so they could increase, they could decrease. I just did it based on the first month because when I did this particular analysis, it was just about a month ago, right? So, and this is your entire breakdown. Okay, so if you guys have any questions, I'll be happy to answer them on the actual chat. So, but let's keep going because we have a lot more to cover. Buying 6 figures Airbnbs through creative finance. I've done so many deals, and a lot of these deals have been with private money, creative finance, such as Subject 2. So let's go over them real quick. This property is a case study in 77070, North Chester, Houston. ARV 295, repairs $60,000, contract 150, refi loan 188,000, equity capture about 72K. It brings me in after the refi. I still got a bunch of equity. I cashed out, right? I cashed out. Let me see how much did I cash out. I put up. It was done with private money, so my contract on my purchase total was about 156. Okay, and then on the back end, when I had to pay for the rehab myself, so when I cashed out, I actually got money. So I'm in probably about like 30, 40K out of pocket. Okay, so but when I cashed out, I got some money back. So that took the 70 or 60K out of pocket, a little bit less down. Now it makes $8,000 to $10,000 a month, and it brings me 4 to 6K. So let's go to some other examples. In December, here's the revenue for December. Okay, so 4,500 in net. Okay, and then here is the screenshot of our calendar for December, 10,419. And when we actually checked this out, our paid out was 11,385. Okay, so and this number comes because there's probably an actual refund or something like that, right? Or an extra. So this is a revenue for another property. And we made, this is the same one, 15,469. Here's the revenue for that one. I think we're running out of time, guys. So I am all here, very happy to teach you all this, but let's keep going to the revenue. I think my time is up in just a couple minutes, all right? So this is our creative finance case study. It makes $5,000 to $7,000. Oh, it took me $5,000 to buy it, furnishing $18,000, and it makes $2,000 to $3,500 a month, okay? So here's screenshots of the actual calendars for April, May. We just had a $15,000 reservation in here. Today was the 25th when we took this screenshot. That was yesterday, right? And here's some payouts for the last few months, okay? And this is a joint venture case study, okay, that I did a joint venture, which is creatively for all of us. It brings in about 8 to 10,000 and revenues 4 to 6,000. Here's our calendar. In April, made $9,800. And here are the payouts, okay? And here is our revenue and calendar for this month, okay? So with 60, 70% occupancy, we're bringing in about $9,000, okay? The no money down method actually is management, right? As we built our property management company, people have started asking us about managing, and we don't market, we don't promote. So we actually partner with investors over a period of 1 to 5 years to actually work out a superb strategy where we joint venture with them as a management company, okay? So we paid our owner $8,260. We launched this property on the 20th, and this is our calendar today. So in 40 days, 18,000 in revenue, incredible, okay? Our May 2020 revenue, this was yesterday, is 142,000, and only with 60% occupancy. We're hoping to be at 65, which is our sweet spot, and then hit 150 this month. If you want to learn more, I'm going to give 5 complimentary strategy sessions for the Real Estate IQ fam, guys. So everyone pull on your phones and scan this baby real quick. And I'm only going to keep this for about 30 seconds because I know that I'm running out of time. So let me check to make sure that I am not getting a message saying, "You're late, George." So if you guys want to talk to me or my team about us helping you build these types of income producing properties anywhere in the United States, we can help you. And if you guys scan this, we help real estate investors build 5, 6, and 7-figure short-term rental businesses. We've got a ton of students and a lot of case studies, and we just started this coaching about a year ago, but we are literally just killing it. So that is the website, and I'm so grateful to be here. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you very much, George. If anybody has any questions, we do have about 2 minutes. You can raise your hand and then you can actually ask it in person. Otherwise, let's see, I thought there is one question. Do you own the Airbnb property or is it a rental lease provided by some owner?
We buy them, we rent them and sublease them, and we also joint venture with other investors. So we do all 3 strategies. And then joint venture is, hey, let's partner. Hey, I'll provide the furniture and we manage it. Or, hey, my team will stage it, or we'll buy it together, all that sort of thing. Yes, ma'am. Mm-hmm.
All right, awesome. There's a question, how does taxation work on the rental arbitrage?
You have about a set amount of expenses that you can, and you treat it just like a normal. Obviously, you're not going to have your long-term benefits, you're not going to have your depreciation, and you're not going to have any of the long-term benefits like you do when you purchase real estate. But since I'm not a CPA, I would not advise this. So this is my disclaimer that you should check on this, and then ask the CPA. But we write off everything. It's just like running any other business, and we have our property management company that writes off a bunch of stuff, and we have several S corps, and LLCs. Mm-hmm.
All right. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Okay, and George, you will not be available at the next table, right?
I will not be available. If it's before 1 o'clock, yes, I think I've got a 1 o'clock. So is it going to be in the next few minutes?
It's going to be at 1 o'clock. So.
Okay.
But if you want to put your contact information in the chat where anybody could get a hold of you if they missed the QR code or something, feel free to do that.
Where would I go for that?
In the far right.
Okay, awesome.
It says chat. All right, and you can go ahead and do that, and we are going to go ahead and end this session. It'll take about 2 minutes before the next session starts. So hang tight, everyone. See you in a bit.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Becky.
Thank you, George.